If you're looking for a high quality, affordable pair of studio monitors, I might just have the solution for you. Kali Audio have had a lot of hype around them for the past couple of years. First time I seen them was on Instagram. I seen the reviews, a lot of people talking about them, hyping them up. So I added them onto my list of things to buy. So when my studio monitors died that I've been using since 2008, it was time to upgrade. So because I've already had these Kali Audios as an option, as well as some other studio monitors within the same price range, I decided to go for Kali Audio LP6 in white. So I was going to do a whole unboxing video and upload it to YouTube, but I thought let me just reach out to Kali Audio, who kindly sent me a pair of LP8s so that I can compare the two. I was already impressed by the LP6s and how they sounded. So when I plugged the LP8s in, so I've just plugged these LP8s in, quick spin, see what they're saying, obviously review them. So I played this mix I've just done. Listen to the bass, please.
To root for the frauds, to root for the fake, to root for counterfeits, to root for snakes. I don't get higher, elevate, wait, I don't get fly, levitate. To root for the frauds, to root for the fake, to root for counterfeits, to root for snakes. To root to replicate it, automedicate, try me, I swear, I won't hesitate. Can't spend nobody, friends of the fam, nah, bitch or a man, talking to me like damn. All these counterfeits getting out of hand. I said what I said, I ain't sorry for none, I can't beg for no.
Yeah, I was even more impressed. From the moment I plugged the LP6s in and started to play my old mixes through them and favourite mixes and music that's already been released, straight out of the box, I loved how they sounded. I liked the bass and I liked the tops, how the tops sounded. But listening properly to my mixes, I could hear some things that I missed when mixing on my old monitors. So these LP6s revealed some things that I didn't really notice before. So I've been using these probably about 2 months now. When I'm mixing vocals, I feel like it makes the vocals sound a bit boxy. So with that in mind, know that when I'm mixing it, that's how the monitors sound. But at the top end, nice and clear. The clarity is good. When I'm using reverbs and delays, I can really hear them popping through, and it makes it really easy to play sounds. So I'm just going to compare the two monitors, the LP6s and the LP8s, and just tell you the differences between them. So first of all, the obvious thing between the LP6s and the LP8s that I've got here today is the colour. You got to choose the colours. You've got white, you've got black. I prefer the white because of the aesthetics of my studio, just trying to keep everything clean and minimal. The price on the LP6 came in at £350 for the pair, which is roughly about $412, and LP8s were £410, which is roughly around $470. But that all depends on whereabouts you buy them. The LP6s are a lot smaller than the LP8s. The height for the LP6s are 36 centimeters, width is 22 centimeters, and the depth is 26 centimeters. The LP8s, a little bit bigger, height being 42 centimeters, width 25 centimeters, and the depth 29 centimeters. The LP6s fit well on my monitor stands. I was a bit worried that the LP8s wouldn't be too big to fit on my monitor stands because my room being quite small and the way that my desk is set up, it might not fit, but they actually do fit very well. But there was a slight problem with the LP8s because the sponge meant that it was pushing forward a bit too much over the monitor stand, so I just had to swap them out and get some monitor isolation pads, and it seemed to sort the problem, and they fit nice and snug. So all is good. So let's looking at the design. Nice sleek finish at the front. It got a little bit of plastic on the front and the MDF on the sides of the boards, which for me makes it look a bit cheap on the sides, but we don't really care about how the sides look. I think I was just a bit spoiled by how my last monitors looked. And then you've got the Kali logo on the front. The cone, it's got a paper look to it. When I first seen it, I wasn't too sure if I liked it because I know the version 1 had like a plastic, not plastic, like I'd say a silk look to it, whereas these V2s, it's got like a matte finish to it. The middle of the cone, it's got like a little plastic thing which makes it look cool. Tweeter's given a nice stereo image. You don't have to sit on the sweet spot to get an accurate representation of what you're hearing. You can move your head slightly and still hear a decent sound. Low noise bass port on the front allows for powerful bass. This allows for powerful bass without the port noise. Cone on the LP6 is just under 6 inches. Cone size on the LP8s are 7.5 inches. The weight of these two monitors, the LP6s, they're quite light. The LP8s, they're big, a bit more bulkier, but they're not really that heavy, so you don't have to worry about straining your back trying to move them or anything like that. They're quite light, well made. So the sound quality, like I said when I first took them out the box, plugged them in, super impressed by how they sounded. The clarity, the top end, the stereo imaging, being able to play sounds and hear them properly, and hear distortion when it was over processing vocals or bass. It was just so nice to be able to hear it all. The lows on the LP6s, I like it. I think they sound good, but there was a point where I really pushed and turned them up, and felt like it started to crackle a bit, and I wasn't too sure if I like that. So I tend not to push them too hard now. But the LP8s, they can go a little bit louder. And the bass, the bass on the LP8s,
You a basshead.
for me, is just how I like it, because I mix a lot of bass heavy music. When I played some mixes through the LP8, straight away I was blown away. The sound, the depth of the bass for me was just nice. It was nice and punchy, and it's just how I like it. Whereas with the LP6s, it had a nice bass to it, but it didn't give me that same feeling that the LP8s did. And that's because the LP8s can go a little bit lower to 37 Hz. So yeah, they produce a little bit more low end. Would you need a subwoofer for the LP6s? I would say yeah, depending on your room size. But we're going to talk about acoustics and treatment and stuff like that in a minute. But I'd say with the LP8s, I don't think you'd need a subwoofer. So the tweeters, they got a 3D imaging waveguide. So like I said earlier, when you can move your head slightly, you don't have to be sat straight in the sweet spot and not move to get a good sound and hear what's going on. As you can see from the frequency response chart, they're quite flat. Slight boost in the high end of the LP8s and a few dips here and there, which is good because it's going to be accurate to what you're hearing, which is what you want. So which leads me onto the back of your monitors. Got these dip switches that you can change and optimize to your room. If you've got too much bass, you can boost the bass, you can cut the bass, you can boost the highs, you can cut the highs. It's got diagrams showing you the different layouts of how you might put your monitors and how to calibrate them to get the best sound. You've also got your volume knob, which is good. You can turn them up, turn them down. I've noticed when I turned up my LP8s, start to get a bit of hiss, so maybe I just need to turn them down a bit, because when I really push the Apollo Twin and turn that up, I can start to hear a bit of hiss, and it's a bit confusing when I'm trying to mix, because I'm thinking, do I have a plugin on that's giving me like the silly hiss sound that some of these plugins will put on there? Or maybe I just need to reach out to Cali Audio, see what's good, because I don't know if it's just my monitors or just the way that I've set them up, which I'll do some more research on to make sure that I'm hitting them in the sweet spot. So you've got your inputs on the back there as well. You've got your RCA, you've got your TRS, and then you've got your XLR inputs, and then you've got your mains. So I'll touch briefly on room treatment. I think it's a nice touch that you can just calibrate your monitors with these different dip switches, boundary EQs to get the right sound for your monitors in your room. Again, like I said, with the LP6s, you probably will need a subwoofer. With the LP8s, I don't think you will need one. But that all depends on what your room, the size of your room, and whether or not you've got treatment. So I've got an Amazon storefront with all the equipment products that I've mentioned today, like the isolation pads and TRS cables, the monitors. So yeah, feel free to hit that link, hit the links. They are my affiliate links, but they don't cost you no extra. It just gives me a small commission that I can continue to deliver high quality videos. So my thoughts on these monitors, they sound good out the box, great. LP6s, LP8s, both good. Aesthetically, I'd go for the white ones because I've done black. I've had black monitors for years, so switching out to the white it's just more of an aesthetic thing. I feel like I'm able to finish mixes quicker using these monitors. It's true to what you're hearing, placing sounds in the stereo field, and just hearing reverbs and the different level of reverbs, and just hearing distortion. It's a pleasure to work on. They really are a pleasure to work on. And I'm not saying this because Cali sent me these to review. This is my own opinions. I'm not going to gas up something that I don't feel needs to be gassed. You hear for yourself when you hear them. And yes, of course, there's going to be other Studio monitors that will sound better, but in this price range, you can't go wrong. Finishing my mixes quicker, they're translating well, which is a bonus. That's what you want. Making beats is a vibe. Just makes me excited to get back into the studio and create. So out of the two monitors, my favourites are the LP8s, simply because of the low end and the way it thumps. It's so punchy. If you've got anything from this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.